Inspired by sound.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Inspired by Sound video. It's my pleasure to be with you here today, and this is to talk about the milestone update to Komplete Kontrol version 2.1. Now, what some of you may not know is that I'm totally blind, and so I rely on the accessibility features of Komplete Kontrol in my home studio and when I'm on stage as well. And for those of you who follow the channel regularly and have some sight, or lots of sight, you might notice that there's a slightly different keyboard in front of me today. This is the Komplete Kontrol A49, part of the new A-series keyboards released not so long ago. I'm here to talk about that in the 2.1 update and how to use the A-series accessibility features, as well as a little bit about the sampler plugin which comes with the new version of 2.1. You're going to hear my speech, by the way, today. Normally in videos you don't hear that. I hear it in my headphones and you don't need to. But I think in this case it's important to showcase how to use the accessibility features of the new A-series, because if you've used Komplete before on your S-series, whether it's Mark 1 or Mark 2, you may think that you know it. And unfortunately, that's not the case. So I'm sitting in Logic now. And this is a shorter keyboard, so it's going to be surprising for me actually. I have to really think about how I do these things. And if I fumble a bit, it's only because I'm not that used to the interface yet. But I will get better, and might come back and dend this video. Well, I won't dend this video, we'll make another one soon. But let's start with putting this in training mode. Actually, no, let's start with talking about how to enable accessibility on the A-series keyboards. To do that, you would have to do Shift and
number 008.
A row of buttons underneath the Shift key, and it's the third one along, which is actually the Ideas button. So if I disable accessibility...
Shift, accessibility off.
Now accessibility is off. So unlike previous keyboards, the S-series, for example, where you'd hold Shift top left and the either preset up button top right on the Mark 1 keyboards, or is that the mix button? I always forget the Mark 2. I don't use my Mark 2 enough to remember the button, but it is top left and top right. In this case, it's diagonal almost. So if Shift is button 1 and Ideas is button 6, then it would be top left, Shift button 1, and underneath that another row of 2 buttons and button 6. So let's enable
accessibility
on. Now, we can play the keyboard as normal, of course. That's fine. What I do find actually, just at the initial outset, by the way, is that the velocity needs to be adjusted, at least in my case, because I'm playing it harder, used to playing the S-series. Now, the keys do feel premium on this board, by the way. I want to make that clear from the outset. For a board that costs 150 quid in the UK, the 49 key, this thing feels amazing. It's built beautifully, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. I just need to adjust things. So let's talk about what the buttons do. And just as you are used
number
to,
013.
I keep touching these capacitive knobs. If I press the Shift button twice, you'll put it into training mode.
Training mode on.
And if you notice, these buttons are quite a bit clickier. If I turn my mic up, you'll hear when I press a button.
Shift, shift, shift.
Got a nice click to them. Very different from the S-series, by the way, which are sort of rubbery textured. These are plastic. I don't know if there's rubber under them, but they're very nice textured, I think. So if you're
number
used
008.
to... I'm really going to stop doing that. If you're used to the layout of the S-series, you'll probably know that next to the Shift is the scale button, and to the right of that
up
is that. Did I say to the left of the Shift? I'm a silly man. I meant something else. To the right of the Shift, scale. To the right of that, up. Now, underneath this, we have
undo,
and shifted.
Shift, redo
is redo. Next to that,
quantize,
shifted,
automation.
And then this Ideas button, which I'm not yet sure what it does. It might be something to do with Machina, but I am not certain. And if we do Shift with that, it will turn off accessibility, so let's not. Underneath that, there's a slight gap, and then we have the transport controls.
Loop.
Does this do anything shifted?
Shift.
No. Next one.
Metronome.
Shift. And nothing.
Tempo.
Shift. And nothing. But the last three do. The play button.
Play.
Shifted.
Shift. Restart.
Yes.
Record. Shift. Count in. Stop. Shift. Clear.
And clear. When we go over to the right slightly, there's a little OLED screen, or OLED, however you say that. I don't remember how many characters it fits on it. Not having any sight at all, I couldn't even tell you by looking at it. But underneath the screen, there are 2 buttons.
Preset up, preset down.
And underneath that, in the left and right configuration, there's the page buttons, which currently don't speak. Now, if I do Shift in the preset keys, let's see what they say.
Shift, Speak preset off.
Speak preset on or off.
Speak preset on.
And if I do shift and the
preset down,
then we get
shifts,
which is silent. What about the page keys?
Mute. Solo.
Mute and solo shifted. Now there's only 3 more buttons left on the keyboard. To the right of the knobs, we have 3 buttons.
Browser.
Browser.
Plugin.
Plugin.
Track.
And track. Shift browser, I think, doesn't do anything.
Shift.
It doesn't say it does anything anyway. And shift plugin
MIDI.
does MIDI, and shift track does
instance.
Instance. Some of this stuff is not yet talking, but it will at a later date, as I understand it. So there's, of course, the big encoder dial that we're used to next to the 8 knobs. And shift and...
previous plugin.
This, you can push this dial like the S-Series Mark II. It's a 5-way encoder, I suppose, or 6, because you can turn it, you can push it up, down, left, right, and you can click it in. So pushing it left, previous plugin to the right, next plugin. And if you do shift and left or up and down, what does this do?
Shift, move plugin left,
move plugin left,
move plugin
right. Pushing it up doesn't do anything. However, I found out just before starting this video that if you have a plugin loaded like an effect or something and you do shift and the up, that removes it and you have to confirm by clicking in the dial. Well, I'll show you that in a moment. Now let's talk about browsing and what happens when you're in the browser, because a few things get moved around in the browser.
Shift.
Okay, so let me disable
training mode off.
and go into the browser.
Browser products all.
Now you'll notice the browser, if you're used to Komplete Kontrol and how it works, speaks a little bit differently in this system than it does on the S-Series. So let's talk about training mode in the browser now and see if I can remember. I've only just put this on the stand about 5 minutes ago, by the way, so you'll have to forgive my rustiness if I come across as a bit inept.
Training mode on.
Let me think. Okay, so shift and browser now does...
Shifts.
It did filter by favorites. What did I do wrong?
Training
See
mode
what I was talking
off.
about, all that?
Browser products all. Audio tracks all. Absinthe.
Right, let me go to the left. I'm going to talk about favorites in a minute, or try to. He says try to. I'm going to push the dial left. It's a lot of joystick type deal.
Products absinthe. Products absinthe.
Ah, you know what? I think I'm on the wrong plugin because this is
audio byte.
These are effects. Yes.
Products all. Audio track stereo.
So how do I get, by the way, to the previous plugin? Of course, obviously there's a contact instrument here loaded, so I've got to get back there somehow.
Slot 1, contact.
Ah, there we go. Now I can do this. I had to come out of the browser and push the jog dial to the left. See, learning as we go, and that's okay.
Browser results Core AX Pro RIM K4 update.
All right, now the browser result shows my piano, which is the Core X Pro RIM sound. Now let's put this back into training mode and shift.
Shifts. Filter by favorites off.
There we go.
Filter by favorites off.
So it's the shift browser in the right mode, by the way. I told you I was inept. Will filter by favorites. And if I push shift and the click in the dial.
Set favorite on.
So that's setting the favorite. So that's how you set a favorite on the A-Series keyboards. Right, so let's talk about browsing because it's not what you expect.
Training mode off.
The knobs, all 8 of them, don't do anything on the A-Series when in the browser. Because the little screen is so small and it has not the capability to display all the knob functions like it does on the S-Series. What they've done is they've used the encoder to show different things. So if I go all the way to the left...
File types instruments.
File types instruments. We're going to come back to that in a minute because also we need to discuss the new sample playback engine in Komplete 2.1. Let's go to the right one. Click.
Products contact.
Contact. So that's like knob number 2 would be on the S-Series.
Results Core AX Pro RIM K4 update.
And that goes straight past all the types and subtypes to results. And I just clicked it one to the right. So it's now showing me the contact instruments. I can just turn a couple here.
Lord sign up. Nokia 3310 composer for contact.
And if I click this in, it should load that sound, which it did. So I don't know if this is favorited. What if I want to favorite this sound? So I will go to the browser and I would hit...
Browser results Nokia 3310 composer for contact. Plugin. Shifts.
Okay, we had a bit of a glitch there.
Browser result. Shift. Set favorite. Off.
Now it's off.
Set favorite. On.
So it is now on. Okay, so that sound was favorited. But I think we are not filtering by favorites.
Filter by favorites. On. Filter by favorites. Off.
That's right. So all of these sounds...
Natural hit. Motion. Milestone organ.
Is a combination of my favorites and not. But let me show you something about the factory side. To get to the factory side of... This is my user content, by the way. Let's go to the left with the page left key.
Factory library.
Factory library.
Characters all.
All right, let me go all the way to the left.
File
clicking
types
that thing.
instruments.
Instruments. Let's go to the right once.
Products contact.
And then we have the products.
Hybrid keys. Grid II. GP04 vocalize 2.
There we go, all sorts of different products. And if I click the dial to the right,
Types all.
and we have types. Now, what are the types?
Synth mix. Synth pad. Vocal. Vocal. All.
Those are the types. That would be equivalent to, I have to think about it because, of course, muscle memory dictates that I just do this stuff without thinking about it. But since the keyboard is not in front of me, I don't know. I would say knob 3 or 4. Someone please correct me in the comments. I know it when I do it.
Characters all.
Characters all.
Evolving. Sample based. Sequenced. Tempo synced. Tempo synced.
I don't know if characters is the new term for the word mode.
All.
Somebody also let me know.
Results pedal combo STG01, C02, C12, C04.
So here are the results. And by the way, if I go all the way to the left,
File types instruments.
if I do shift and push the encoder to the right,
Shift. Results pedal combo STG01, pedal combo STG02, C03, C02, C11.
it jumps straight to the results. So you don't have to go through all of the intermediary steps as well. I don't know what shift left does. What does shift left do?
Shift. File types instruments.
Okay, it goes to the first. Now, interestingly enough, and this is quite cool, I know. I'm going to go to somewhere and try and show this if I can.
Products all. Alicious.
I'm going
Drum
to
lab.
contact.
Element stereo.
Actually, no. This is great. This is
Absinthe.
a perfect place to
Abbey
do
Road
this.
50s drum. All.
Now, when you are in this browser here, holding shift and turning the dial doesn't go by single numbers. It goes in quite big jumps. So if I show you the first few of my list of choices here.
Abbey Road 50s drummer. Abbey Road 60s drummer. Abbey Road 70s drummer. Abbey Road 80s drummer. Abbey Road modern drummer.
Okay, that's enough.
All.
Let's go back to all. And if I hold the shift key down and turn this one click to the right,
Shifts. Absinthe.
it's gone to Absinthe. So it's gone by quite a big jump. And this enables you to actually get through products in a faster manner than it would otherwise. And this can help your workflow by speeding it up exponentially, actually. It's quite a few less turns to do. Let's see what else we get.
Battery. C2. Drum lab. Form. Haunted spaces. Contact. Music box. Reactor. Scarby J bass. Session guitar. Slavels IR. Symphobia colors. Tape choir. Thrill. Unicorder. West Africa. West Africa.
And I'm already at the W's with hardly any twists. So if I do shift and left really quickly,
Shifts. Chime. All.
I'm already at all. That's fantastic, and that's really useful, because one thing that the A series seems to be missing, and I don't know if they're going to implement it later or not, I couldn't say, is the banks. So when you find a product that you want, you can't go by bank at the moment. I don't know if that will come in a later update or whatever, but it does mean that doing it this way, you can at least get to stuff quite quickly. All right, let's talk about the cool thing now by going all the way to the left.
File types instruments.
And I did shift and pushing the encoder left, by the way, and change over
Loops. Instruments.
to what we can see here. So the first thing is instruments,
Loops.
then loops,
One shots.
one shots.
One shots. One shots.
All right, let's try going through some one shots here. So this is to do with the new sample playback engine, which is rather interesting indeed. Oh, by the way, let me see if the shift and...
Shifts.
Okay, the page buttons don't do anything in this space. Okay,
One shots.
that's still loaded. Okay, let me push this to the right,
Products all.
and we can see a list of products now.
Amplified Thunk. Aquarius Earth. Arcane Attic. Astral Flutter.
And what it's showing me at the moment are battery drum kits, because these are the things that have samples in on the factory side. On the user side, we'd see different things.
Aquarius Earth.
Let's go to Aquarius Earth, because I know it has some very cool samples in it. I'm going to push the encoder to the right,
Types all.
types all. I'm going to ignore that.
Characters all. Results Bass Chicago.
And now I'm just going to quickly turn this dial.
Bass C sub love 10.
And you can hear...
Two system dialogues displayed.
Oh,
Authentication.
screensaver,
Login
be
window.
quiet.
Login Android GUI button.
This is the trouble, of course, when my speech is coming through the video. You'll hear all that sort of thing as well.
Chord guitar C grain mode.
I'm going to load this guitar chord. I quite like it. I've clicked it in. Now I can simply play it on my keyboard. It was that easy. But what if I don't want it to be playing the entire way through? I play a key and I let go, and it's basically playing the whole thing. So we need to discover what's on these sample pages and
Voice
see
settings polyphony.
if we can stop that from happening. So let's just tap along these different capacitive knobs and see what
Polyphony.
comes up.
No parameter. No parameter. Pitch bend. Engine mode. No parameter. No parameter. No parameter.
So the new A series says no parameter when there's no parameter. The S series goes quiet.
Pitch envelope. Voice settings engine.
Okay, so that's voice settings and engine. The next page,
Pitch envelope.
pitch and envelope. And I know for a fact that the thing we want is on this page, by the way.
Pitch gate tune. Start. Reverse. Type. No parameter.
So if I
Type.
change the type,
AHD, one shot. ADSR,
to turn it very carefully, ADSR,
one shot.
oh,
ADSR,
there we go. Okay, right.
one shot.
So from one shot to
Type.
ADSR,
ADSR. Attack.
and then we have the attack,
Attack. Attack. Decay.
decay,
Decay. Decay. Sustain.
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 Now we just have a
Sustain.
click.
Sustain.
That's joyful, isn't it? Completely useless like that. And
Release.
release. Turning the release down now means I can trigger it like a...
Attack.
And if I turn the
Attack.
attack up, just so that the click is not present, nice.
Reverse.
And there's a reverse option.
On.
So let's enable the reverse, and we have a reverse sample. And if you throw a bit of a reverb on that or something, you can have quite a nice effect. Should we throw a reverb on it as well? Why not? Let's see if we can remember how to do this. So I'm not in the browser. I should be able to push the dial to the right,
Slot 2. Empty slot.
hit the browser key.
Browser products all.
Okay, products.
Audio track. Byte. Black hole.
Let's use black hole and let's push the shift and right.
Results Arctic. Black hole. Boxed in. Cargo ship.
Let's try cargo ship and click that in. Oh wow, we have a new sound that was not part of the original sound set. What a joy. And then you can adjust it in the usual ways that you're used to.
Macro space. Predel EQ modulation levels. Tempo sync.
All these things.
Macro space.
Because this is the normal plugin window that you're used to, with the page left and page right and all the knobs doing the right things. So
Macros free.
let me see.
Space mix.
Space mix.
Mix.
Turn the mix
Mix.
all the way up.
Gravity. Size.
Turn the size
Size.
all the way up. Have a huge
Size.
sound. Let's play it at
Feedback.
a key now. And we have the start of a joyful ambient track. So just like you'd expect, I would push the left dial at the dial left
Slot 1. Sampler.
to go back to the sampler.
Slot 2.
To the
Black
right
hole.
there.
Slot 3. Empty
And
slot.
slot 3 is empty. So
Slot 2. Black
I
hole.
want to remove black hole. So I know, by the way, now, only because I had to quickly explore this before the video, that shift and pushing the dial up says the following.
Shifts. Remove plugin. Push to confirm.
And if I push enter
Plugin removed.
or click that dial in, the plugin is gone. So that really is that. It's a very, very quick and dirty overview. I know it's not the best thing in the world, but I hope that you get kind of an idea about how this works, and that you found it at least a little bit useful. I will speak to you all again in the near future. Tell your friends, by the way, not about the channel, although you can do that if you want, but that Komplete 2.1 is out. And for those people wanting to get a cheap keyboard and a good way to get into the Komplete ecosystem, the A series coming in at, I think, as little as 109 in some areas for the 25 key and 199 for the 61 has accessibility. Native Instruments are one of the few companies doing anything like this in this space for musicians. I mean everybody. You don't just have to be blind to benefit from accessibility. You might have dyslexia and find that you want to be away from your computer, and having a voice talk to you as you perform options might be of use to you. So there we go. A little intro look at the A series keyboards from Native Instruments with accessibility. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe and share, and I'll see you soon.